Also, I would like to... Okay, can I just talk about two things real quick? What the fuck? Pause. Two things. Because I know it's gonna be brought up right now. Because we talked about the picture thing with the Numas and it just occurred to me. Apparently, quite a few people saw the tweet of someone. She is very sweet, by the way. Like, I know it's not you guys, but no hate whatsoever. She's very sweet. She has been very kind, very sweet, very nice. That person was live streaming. They didn't tell me. I am not necessarily upset at that. It happens. In a moment where emotions fly high, it's okay. It can happen. You know, it's... When you... I'm attending a crowd. If I walk through the image in a crowd, shit happens. Now, before I defend myself, okay? I wanna just clear things up. No hate whatsoever. She's been very kind. She took it down as soon as she saw. She's been sweet the whole time throughout, even though she didn't tell me that she was live streaming and recording. And after all of that, making the very sober decision of posting it and redistributing that same stuff online. I simply asked to take it down. I expressed my disappointment and that I had wished she told me any of these things were happening. And I'm just sad that, you know, in a space, in a private space that I'm in, I can't let my guard down because, you know. But yeah, no hate. She took action fast. She has been kind through and through from the beginning till this action as well. She's been apologetic and everything. No hate whatsoever. I simply, very tamely expressed my deepest disappointment. I don't want to say... two things I want to avoid saying. I will not say it's okay. It's not. You understand? But you can move on without being upset. But I'm not saying it's okay. It's not. But just because something wasn't okay doesn't mean you have to make it a bigger deal than it is. Another thing I will not apologize for is not reaching out privately first. But hear me out first. Hear me out. Hear my side of the story. Do I think it would have been nicer to reach out in private? Yes. But please, before you take anything out of context, the sober decision to post it online and redistribute it has been made after the fact, after second thoughts. But apart from that, again, still no hard feelings. When I saw this tweet, there was one thing that went on in my head. When I saw this tweet, I have made it clear time and time and time and time again to not do this. And it happened again. And one thing I didn't appreciate is when people tell me to keep things behind closed doors. I do. I keep pretty much everything behind closed doors. Every time I've gotten scammed, ghosted, betrayed, literally money stolen from me, I don't make it public. I let the people get away with it publicly. I keep it to myself. But I believe the reason these things keep happening to me so very often, and why people abuse my kindness so very much, robbing me of money, work, time, ghosting, letting me down, and all kinds of things, is because every time people interact with me in a negative way and screwing me over, there is no... What's it called? For the lack of better word, English is my second language, but for the lack of a better term, there is never a consequence. And I think a reason why I am the target of many of these things is because I keep every single goddamn thing behind closed doors. No repercussions. Yes, thank you. There's no accountability. And I think it's because every single thing where I am taking the short end of the stick, I keep to myself. I sort it behind closed doors. And then next fucking week, next month, next half a year, it happens again. just with someone else or the same fucking person happened to. So I do feel like it's sad that I didn't do it privately, but at the moment, I think I also have to understand which things should be kept private and which things need to be made more public. I need to probably start taking more public stances when things are at my displeasure. Because for years, I've always kept I have lost thousands of dollars. We are talking 5 digits in just money that I never made a big deal on social media about. There have been other cases where I've been thoroughly fucked over by brands, by people, and by friends. And I haven't made it a big deal, ever. And I think a big reason for that is, and why it keeps happening non-stop. Again, I'm sorry she is the one who, where it happened finally, but I think I need to set boundaries more openly, more publicly. When things are not okay, I think it's important for me to speak up publicly a bit more often. In a kind way. Like I did with the tweet where I'm like, hey, please take it down. You didn't let me know, blah blah blah. I'm disappointed. No witch hunting. No, fuck you, bitch, you fucking false. No, just take it down. I'm disappointed. Don't do this. Done. I think I have to communicate things a bit more freely and keep things. I will still keep everything that has no business being out in the public. Has no business being out in the public. But I think that with public figures, I will also probably start taking actions a bit more publicly, because I think that a big reason that I am targeted by incidents such as that, not only this, by incidences such as that, and many things I have never talked about. I think the main reason these things happen is because there is never any repercussion, never any accountability, nothing, because I keep everything to myself. Everything is good. Never a problem. But I think that makes me a target for people to keep doing it. Because word goes around that fucking with Lily doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, whatever. Oh, she commissioned you and paid you freaking $3,000 for this and you never followed up with it? Whatever. Whatever. Oh, she said to not do this and you went ahead and did this? Whatever. Like, people know I will not defend myself publicly. They know I'll be disappointed with them in DMs and often stop working with these people. But people know that there is never any consequences online. So I want people to understand that I don't ever want to throw hate at someone. But sometimes it is not avoidable. Not the hate. To make public statements. Sorry, I should have... Sorry, that was a bad segue into the next sentence. Sorry, it was no hate, period. Not a comma, not any... No hate, period. But making public statements. Sorry, my mind already thought about the next sentence. Sorry. No hate, fucking period. But sometimes it isn't avoidable to make my opinion public. Or rather, I think one of my mistakes is how much is the word loathe? How much I loathe to make public opinions. But I think it also makes this target on my back that the majority of my friends seem to have to go through. And I think it's because I'm very kind. I don't want to make anything a big deal publicly. It's no one's business. But if other people make stuff public, I think it is also my right to also make things public and to say hurtful things such as my emotions and how I feel doesn't matter, because as the person who just so happens to have a bigger community, it's not my right to have public opinions. It's very hurtful. It's not my fault. I don't think that just because I have a following that it exempts me from any opinions about anything happening to me. I don't think so. I agree to disagree on this, but I would like to express how hurtful it is when people say that I have no right of any of these things because I'm too big to have a right to complain. I simply wish to publicly announce my boundaries because other people keep pushing these boundaries publicly. Again, no hate to someone in particular. This is a general statement. This is a general statement about me speaking about things slightly more publicly in the future, if that makes sense. This is a broad statement, not just based on one situation, just like in like a more general term, you know. But yeah. Also, there was one thing, again, like I don't want to get too much into this, but a lot of people say other hurtful things, such as, I think it was one comment in particular that got to me. I think maybe it's because I was sick and I was under the weather, or something like really sarcastic, being like, imagine going to an event with a bunch of streamers and I'm being upset that you've been filmed. Sorry, they're also mentioned in a public area, and I'm like, no. I don't appreciate that comment because it's just factually and lawfully wrong. First of all, it's not a public space. It's just not. That's absolutely not the point at all whatsoever. And everyone who is in this industry properly and integrates themselves with the things I can and can't do, they know that there's laws. You can film crowds. Yes, you can live stream wherever the fuck you want. You can film crowds. But it absolutely is not a public place. It's a ticketed event. And on top of that, I was inside a booth covered by security. You literally need to pay to get in. You get a bracelet that you have to scan in. You have to present your ID to confirm that you are the person getting the ticket. Yeah, and it's stated that anything within booths has to be respected and not filmed. But you can film crowds legally, yes. But as soon as individuals are being focused on and identified, that's not illegal. I just want to point things out because people are saying weird shit about how I have no right of such privacy, and I'm like, I quite literally do though. GDPR, look it up. I don't know if those same rules apply in NA, by the way, but here these laws are very strict. So, you know. Plus, I publicly stated that I wish to not be filmed. And that also counts. And I am within my right to expect that. But yeah, I know it's just Twitter Andes, but somehow it did get under my skin. It did get under my skin. I know it's just Twitter Andes, but it just sucks that when I had a problem with something, not with a person in particular, just with something that happened, that people downplay the problem. They're like, fuck you, you're a public figure, you chose this, you have no right. And I'm like, fuck man. That's a bit hostile, innit? I wonder how those people react when they're in a situation where they are legally completely within their rights and everyone's just like, no, fuck you, piece of shit. You asked for this. You asked for this. You knew what you were doing when you were walking the streets at night. You asked for this. Like, what a fucked up stance that is. How do you hit send on a tweet like that? That's crazy. Anyways, I wanted to elaborate that I do agree with the fact that it's sad I didn't handle things privately. But when people do things publicly, I, from now on, will choose to also handle things more publicly. Because, like I said, I think the reason these things happen is because I always try to accommodate for everyone else but my own. And I think it's, after these years, has come to bite me in the butt. Because everyone just assumes that they can do whatever they want with me. It don't matter. Or you scammed her of $4,000, who cares? She's gonna tweet it out. Just go commission. Just go work on a commission with the next person. Who cares? Who cares? Whatever. Oh, you promised this to Lily? Doesn't matter. You don't have to keep your promise. She won't call you out. Who cares? So I think I will communicate my boundaries more clearly in the future, especially when people take things publicly. So yeah, I'm sorry it wasn't handled privately. Oh, sorry. Let me correct myself. I do not assume fault here. I am not sorry, but I do agree with the fact that it's sad I didn't handle it privately. But I hope people see my point of the side as well, that I meant no harm. As was said in my tweet, it was a very down-to-earth tweet asking to please take it down, stating my disappointment and the fact that I felt betrayed by having my safe space invaded without telling me so, and then making the sober and conscious decision later on to redistribute that fact. You know, I'm just sad it happened. There's no hate to that person. She has been very sweet. She's very kind. She's very lovely, very, very timid, a very, very kind-hearted, timid person. And I am really disappointed if I find out any of our actual shrimpies have been sending hate her way. I was hoping that my tweet explaining the way I feel would show people an example of how to handle these things. You know? TLDR, please. Super short TLDR. I went to TwitchCon. I've made it very clear by security publicly, stating it and everything. Do not take pictures, do not film me or record me or anything like that. I'm only going if people can respect that. Fast forward at TwitchCon, I was inside the Gamer Subs booth, stashed away, hidden away by security, and I was filmed on livestream, pointed at being like, that's Shylily, and you know, they pan across security. The camera person pans across security to get my face on there, like, you know, going to the side, because no drama, only love. No drama, only love. And then, you know, later on, and no one warned me about that. No one told me I'm being streamed and recorded and redistributed later on. I did have a mask on, yes. I've learned from my past mistakes. I'm not going to conventions without a mask. It's not happening. No. I want to preserve at least. I know things like this will happen. My security guard was very, very, very conscious of everything happening. Yeah. No, it wasn't mistakenly. It was focused, name drop, and then security was blocking my face because we're inside the booth, hiding away from the public. No, it's not public, it's still private, but you get the idea. And the cameraman who was filming the live stream for the person in question, they were panning around, you know, to get my face. And I wasn't made aware of any of this, which, again, no hate, please, no drama, only love. But it's not okay. I wish to speak out about my disappointment that it's not okay. But hating is also not okay. But it's not okay.